So speaking of someone that is an expert in their particular career, their career is they will literally examine your house inside and out. Who's that, Adrian?
That would be Kenji Vendetta of Pillar to Post Home Inspection.
What you got for us this week?
This week is an infrared scan or an infrared camera.
Yeah.
So I've been coming across these properties where there's moisture that can't be detected with the naked eye.
Okay.
But we can pick them up with an infrared camera. And that just came from a property that, you know, the drain, the washer drain line flooded. Yeah. It overflowed. And they thought they got all the residual water damage taken care of, the drywall, the immediate stuff. Yeah. Well, scanning it with an infrared camera, we found out there's water underneath the baseboards, underneath the floorboards. So from there, we're able to show it to the client. We're able to see it with the camera, and we can get the right vendors in there to remediate the situation, so that way we don't end up with a bigger issue, after closing, or 3-4 months down the line.
Yeah, we've had
a bigger issue would be like mold.
Yeah,
right?
we've had specifically clients come across that, and then they're like replacing appliances, and then find a whole bunch of mold behind, and then having to do all mold remediation, and in addition to replacing,
which can be thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
I mean, that can be a pretty pricey thing to miss. On the inspection.
And so so you guys do that. Is that is that part of the standard part of your home inspection? Extra part?
That is part of our premium package with the infrared camera.
Yeah.
So we do a moisture detection for all of our packages, but the premium and prestige packages, that's where we bring in the camera, the infrared camera, that we see, things that the naked eye can't see.
Gotcha.
And do most people opt for that one? Because that sounds like it's a pretty important thing to be on the lookout for, especially with our climate here.
Yes. People want that peace of mind. They want to be able to see, if there's a potential risk or potential issue behind the walls. So they will opt for that. So that way, when they're asking for these things for remediation on the J1, they have proof of, they're like, hey, there's an issue behind the wall. Here's pictures, here's proof. Get a vendor out there to remediate the situation.
Kenji, one of the things we tell buyers also that, a lot of times they want to be super aggressive and accommodating with their offer. So they'll say, like, should we just skip the home inspection? And we tell them, no, never, ever, ever skip the home inspection. If anything, you can just say it's going to be for informational purposes only. But I would tell you that any good realtor is going to tell their buyer or client, never ever skip. There should never, Adrian, have you ever heard of anybody like skipping a home inspection? I mean, there's if they live in it and they're buying it.
Yeah, like if the tenants are living in there and the tenants are buying it from the owners. Yeah. I mean, they're going to have a really good idea of what the condition is.
That may be the one exception. But,
or maybe if it's a complete tear down. Yeah. That would be...
Kenji's going to be situation. You got a whole pile of junk over here, at least 3 dumpsters full. Anything else? Okay, I'm out of here. So there are exceptions, but in a general, in the 80-90% of a basic transaction where you're buying the home and you're going to move in and live in it, 100% get a home inspection, and
totally
100% call Kenji from Pillar to Post. Because we have no other who else do you recommend? Kenji. And they're like, who else? Kenji. And then who else? Kenji. That's it. And they get the hint. This is it.
Well, thank you, Kenji, for your tip of the week.
Awesome.
You're welcome.
All righty.